Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode in the series on the Kaspersky Security Center Cloud Console. This is a series of educational videos. In this particular video, we are going to demonstrate the steps you must take to regularly update Kaspersky databases, software modules, and install Kaspersky applications. Now, in this regard, the very first step that we need to do or to take is to create the task for downloading updates to the repositories of your distribution points. To create the download updates to the repositories of a distribution point task for a selected administration group, we will go to our assets directory, click on tasks, and from there we will create a new task by clicking the add button, and in the task type field we will select the download updates to the repositories of distribution points. We will then go ahead and we will specify a name for this task that we are creating. Finally, click on next. We will then go ahead and select the specific administration group or device selection or the devices to which this particular task will apply. Once we are done with that, we will go to the Finish Task Creation step. If you enable the Open Task Details when creation is complete option, you can modify the default task settings. If you do not enable this option, the task is used with the default settings. It's created with the default settings. But don't worry, of course, later on you can modify the default settings at any given point in time. Once done, we click on the Finish button. Once the Finish button is selected, the task is created and displayed in the list of our tasks. We will go ahead and we click on the name that we created this task with, and we open up the task properties. In the task properties window, we will click on the application settings tab. From here, we specify the Kaspersky update servers as sources of updates. This means that effectively your distribution points will use the Kaspersky update servers directly rather than relaying it via some other device. We can also go ahead and we can enable the download of diff files and the download of the updates by using the alt scheme options. On the schedule tab, this is where we'll go ahead and create a schedule for this task to start. Now, once you have defined your particular schedule, we can click on the Save button. Now, the next step here is for us to go ahead and configure our managed devices, meaning the devices that we protect, to receive updates only from distribution points. So in this way, what we are doing is we are funneling all of the network communication. Instead of 100 devices communicating out to the internet, now we are just going to have 100 devices communicating using the local network to one particular proxy device, if you will, called the distribution point, and that is the sole communication that is necessary for that local network. So to configure managed devices to receive updates only from distribution points, we go to the Assets or Devices section, go to Policies and Profiles. Now from here, we are actually going to configure the network agent policy. In the policy properties window, we open up the application settings tab. And from there, in that settings area or section, we're going to turn on to distribute files through distribution points only. We're going to toggle that button and set the lock for this toggle button as well. Once done, we click the Save and Close button. Now in this case, the policy will be applied to the selected devices and the devices will receive updates only from the distribution points that we've selected. Now, once we have all of this configured, it'd be very useful to be able to identify the current status of the updates in your environment. So let's have a look at the device update statuses. So in this case, by default, the downloaded software updates have the undefined status. You can change this status to approved or to declined by going to the Operations area, Kaspersky Applications, and then finally Seamless Updates. Once you're in that area, a list of available updates will appear. If an update requires reviewing and accepting the terms of the end user license agreement, then you first need to accept these terms prior to it being allowed to continue with this process. So once you click the Approve button to approve the selected update, or even the Decline button to decline the selected update, the approved updates are then going to be queued for installation, and the declined updates are uninstalled, of course, if possible, from all devices. Now, once we have that in place, we have the ability to do the automatic installation of security application updates. So to configure the download and automatic installation of security application updates, once again, we go back to our assets and then to tasks. Over there, we're going to create a new task by clicking the Add button, and then we're going to follow the necessary instructions. So from here, for the Kaspersky Endpoint Security for Windows application, we select the update as the task subtype, and we specify the name for the task that we are creating. A task name, of course, cannot be more than 100 characters long and cannot include any special characters, so please take note of this. We will then choose the task scope, meaning we specify the administration group, the device selection, or the devices to which the task should apply. After that is concluded, we select an account to run this particular task. Then we click on Next. Once concluded, we click on the Finish button. The task will be created and displayed in the list of tasks as per usual. We go back to this particular task in the task section, and then from there, once we've opened this up, we go to the Application Settings tab. We choose local or mobile mode, and then from there we can enable the update sources that you want to use to update databases and application modules for the Kaspersky Endpoint Security for Windows application. If required, we can change the positions of the sources in the list by using the move up and or move down buttons. This is obviously going to have certain priority levels, and this is how you will modify it. From here, we can enable the Install Approved Application Module Updates option to download and install the software module updates together with the application databases. And from here, we are going to select the Copy Updates to Folder checkbox in order for the application to save the downloaded updates to a folder and then specify that particular folder path. And we recommend that you select the When New Updates are Downloaded to the Repository option. Finally, we click on Save. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the conclusion of another episode in the series of the Kaspersky Security Center Cloud Console. As usual, thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you next time. Goodbye.